Good morning, it's July 21st and you're in my front garden here at Colorado Tulips. It is zone 5B and things are really growing. Even things that I have been struggling with terribly to grow are finally happening. All right, so I recently had an outbreak of budworm in the petunias. You can see a couple of little holes there. So I've sprayed this with BT, actually a homemade BT spray from mosquito bits that I had been using for fungus gnat issue. So we'll see if that works. I've got some lantana here and some dwarf morning glories. We've got a little bit of dianthus. We have some gladiolus. The interesting thing about the gladiolus is that most of these were planted for last year, came up last year as a mix. And the ones that are coming up first and best are the yellow, which doesn't surprise me from what I've been reading, that there are some yellows that are particularly like thrips resistant, and one's called, I think, Novi Sun. So that quite excites me, but I will not be ever buying gladiolus from like a Walmart again just because of the thrips. And when I buy them again and I put them in the ground, I am going to use the bleach trick that you can learn about more online before you plant them, to just try to get some thrips dead and kill those all off as you plant. So we'll see. The bee's knees petunias, these are not super petunias, but these are bee's knees petunias. They were just decimated by these. I mean, you can tell like that. Like they were just decimated by the budworms. I didn't even see them on the plants here, but they obviously were here and in force. So yeah, look at this. It just, these so pretty. Like they still actually do have some thrips on them, but not like last year, and not, not badly enough. Well, badly enough that I tried cutting a couple and bringing them in my house, and then I noticed a few thrips crawling around, and I thought I need these to stay away from my house plants, so I decided not to cut anymore. These little guys are going to need staking. They're so massive. But yeah, just look at that. So pretty. Like just gorgeous. I'm really loving these, but yeah, again, they need staking. So we'll get them what they need. All right, and there's a couple peeking over there that just came up from last year. So here's the grass. A total experiment, right? We have not had any of this cloth, this little barrier thing on the top part. Much of it is still coming up. There are some rabbits that like to just come up here and taunt me and look at me and just watch me while they munch. But there is some grass coming up that they haven't gotten yet. It definitely helped when I kind of just threw some compost on the top, I think, to protect the seeds a bit more. And yeah, as I said, even though it can be a bit hard to see from up on top, you can see that in many spots there are little blades of grass, little shoots are in fact coming up, even where it might, from farther above, it might look like there's nothing, but yeah, there's some. But where is it coming up better? Well, underneath this grass cloth, it is like this is all filling in. I think it's protecting it with the moisture, right? It's helping keep in some of the moisture, even though this has been a like bizarrely wet and cool spring and summer so far. But yeah, it's all coming up through here. Got to decide like what to do as this is all coming up. I don't want to pull it all up because it really is actually sitting into the grids. But I may eventually just try to clip out these little bits of the plastic. They're supposed to degrade, but I don't particularly see that happening a lot. This little spot here I had covered, and I pulled it off and moved the little cover over there just to see what it would do in different areas, and if I had started it here, would everything underneath still survive once it was taken, once this top was taken off, or would it just nearly like immediately burn and all. So definitely better over here than it was up there, but well, we'll see. You know, it's just all an experiment. But yeah, because all down here, as of a month ago, you know, we had spread a lot of grass seed and just nothing had like nothing whatsoever had germinated. And now it's obviously all of these darker green spots are grass coming through. It's still going to look like a mangy lawn, I think, but it will be better than just seeing dead. So we're going to give it some time. We'll probably continue to add more seed in here because I do know the rabbits are going nuts with it. So as in the back though, the coleus, I bought a number of coleus plants. Like, it's just not doing anything. Like, it truly isn't. I'm mystified, except for that I do know these are not proven winners coleus. These were just like from the garden center, like the Lowe's garden center, and they are not doing anything. And last year I had like a lime coleus and it just went nuts. So, but in the meantime, we have a little bit of dianthus that survived. We've got a couple of snapdragons here that are actually coloring up, and it's been so cool that that the snapdragons are enjoying it. There we go. Look, you can see exactly where the rabbit was because those little rabbit pellets. And a little bit of lantana in the back. There's some zinnias hanging out here. There's a sunflower that's even coming up. You know, I just got to that point where I was tossing seeds. So it's fun. We'll see what happens. It may be the end of July, but it's been so cool that the garden is just delayed left and right. But I'm very excited to see how this keeps going. I mean, it's certainly entertaining for me, and I hope it's entertaining for you as well, especially if you're my nephew Kyle watching. I love you a lot, honey. Let me give you one last look here of exactly how I knew budworms had come. So these are over here. These are just two small white petunia plants from the garden center, and probably 5 days ago, I just noticed that there was like a little bit of black stuff on them, like just sort of dirt, and I was like, oh, what is that? And it turns out that was bloodworm feces. Now I know what it looks like. And then in the meantime, of course, you could see that the budworms were just gnawing their way through everything. So I have tried spraying these with a homemade BT solution, and I may just go out and go for it. I've got a sunflower in here and a zinnia and a third zinnia, just seeing what they will do. They've been like everything has been very comfortable here, and it actually gets sun before any other part of the front yard coming over from this direction. But yeah, they've for a couple of little free petunia plants, I've been very impressed with them. And they're not super petunias. I do deadhead them, but wow, you know, it's just fun. I'm going to decide whether I'm going to leave these here or whether I'm going to move them into the kind of empty garden area there that has tulips in it other times of year, since as you can see it's mostly empty. These little sticks, of course, are where I marked where I've got more room for more tulips to go in the fall, since otherwise I had just had no hope of knowing exactly where I had a spot and could just dig down with a little digger. So that was my solution. Realized I have actually more yellow than I thought, but I really like yellow, and apparently I like it subconsciously as well as consciously. So thanks for being here. Take care. Have a good day.